Okay, so we're going to look at, did you want to go?
No, go.
No, I'm going first. Okay, so we want to look at the vertex and axis of the graph of f of x equals 5 times x minus 1 squared minus 7. And it's not hard.
No, because this is in vertex form, which we can tell because of the parentheses and the squared and whatnot.
We love vertex form. And remember, inside those parentheses is the super secret opposite society. So instead of having -1, our vertex is actually going to have an x-coordinate of 1 and a y-coordinate of -7 because the people outside the parentheses just aren't as cool.
So V for vertex. The
V.
vertex of this is 1, -7. Whenever it says axis of the graph, it's talking about the axis of symmetry, not some other random axis.
The x-coordinate of the vertex.
And it's always going to be x equals, not always. In this chapter, it will always be x equals the x-coordinate, which was 1.
Yep.
Ta-da!
That's all there is to it. Piece of cake. Well, what about another one, you might ask? What about one where it's not in vertex form, you might ask? Well,
that formula, -b over 2a, we could use that.
we can, but you have to know the a, b's, and c's here.
It goes in order if your function is in order. X squared x and then your number, it goes in order. A, B, C, do, re, mi, it goes in order.
Do, re,
Like in the Sound of Music.
a deer,
Exactly.
a female. Okay, so
-b over 2a is what we want to find.
the opposite of -2 is 2, for those of you scoring at home.
Over 2 times a, so 2 times 4. 2 over 2 times 4, well, our 2's would cancel, and that would just be 1/4.
And if you don't cancel your 2's, you're going to have 2 over 8, which reduces
Also,
to 1/4.
yeah, it's
so
also
all the
1/4.
same.
So now, that's the x value of our vertex. If we plug that into our function, so plug in a 1/4, that'll tell us the y value.
You could get a fraction. Life is loaded with those. So if you're working out a problem in your textbook or some other place and you get a fraction value, don't automatically panic. We are in big school now where fractions do show up quite frequently.
As my graduate professors like to say, we're big kids. We can handle fractions.
And some of you guys have had it pounded into your heads that decimals are the way to go, and I will agree that
Who
there
in
are
the
times
world
when
would say that?
well, there are those that are there. By all means, use a decimal. However, on the non-calculator part of this test, you will want to use fractions because 1/2 times 1/2 is easier to do quick than 0.5 times 0.5. So Mrs. Stevenson is grinding out a problem for us right now.
I think we need some common denominators. So common denominator of 4, so times 2,
Yep.
times 2,
And a 6.
times 4, times 4. So that's 1/4 minus 2/4 plus 24/4, which is 23/4.
23/4.
23/4. That's the y value. So our vertex is 1/4, 23/4. Now that seemed like a lot of work. Mostly though, that was because it was
Fractions.
a fraction. If we'd had a normal set of numbers, that would not have taken as long. That's the vertex.
Axis of symmetry.
Will be x equals our x value. And it asks us to rewrite the equation for the function in vertex form. So I'm pretty sure that this is how this works. We take the number that's in front of our x squared, stick that on the outside, then we plug in our vertex. That'll be x minus 1/4 because it's inside the parentheses, and then on the outside we've got 23/4. That should be right, right?
I think that's how it should go.
Yeah. So
you
there
can
we go.
always graph it and see.
Let us know if it's not. So what? F2?
You have to.